Perfect. And we're live. Happy International Women's Day, everyone. Uh, and happy International Women's Day, Margaret. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you very much.
joining me today. I'm so happy, thrilled to have you. Hello, Deborah. Welcome. Great to have you. Um, Margaret, if you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about. Hi, Tom. Thank you for joining. Happy International Women's Day. If you want, Margaret, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and then
Sure.
we'll we'll continue with our discussion.
Okay, great.
Cool.
Magdalena, I want to thank you for inviting me on your show, first of all. And I am truly, truly happy to be here for Happy International Women's Day. Margaret Williams. I was born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, um, and I grew up in Detroit. And I've worked in civil service for 38, almost 38 and a half years. I'm a certified coach, and I have a master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology.
Fantastic. I'm curious. How did you get into coaching?
Very interesting question because since I work in civil service, and I know that my days were numbered, and so I
Mhm.
wanted to look at something that was going to be complementary to being a civil servant, and that would be coaching.
Perfect. Wonderful. So let's chat a little bit about how we're celebrating ourselves as women today. So Margaret, what are you doing to take care of yourself today and for yourself?
Well, what I'm doing to celebrate myself is disconnecting from social media, and
Okay.
the news,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
just relaxing
Uh-huh.
and being in the moment.
Perfect. I love that. That's a great celebration. For myself, I knew
Absolutely.
that I'm going to be super busy today, so I started my celebration yesterday, and I did candles and music and meditation and just just like you mentioned, with no social media, nothing, just hour and a half of meditation in a like peaceful, blissful environment and recharging, loading my battery. So that was my early celebration because I knew today was a action packed days. So it's important for all of us to not only celebrate on specific days, but also celebrate and take care of us as women on daily basis. So I'm curious, Margaret, how do you take care of yourself on daily basis?
Self-care is very important because before we can take care of others, we have to take care of ourselves physically,
Yeah.
mentally, emotionally, and then we can show
Yeah.
up fully in our unapologetic self. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm 100% 100% on board with that. So let's talk about now women that played important role in your life, women that inspire you on daily basis, women that have served as your role models. And as you are talking about it, I'm going to put it as a question for our subscribers. We would love to hear who are your role models in your life.
Well, having been born in 1962, okay, I my role models, one of them in particular was Rosa Parks. Okay, her refusal to
Mhm.
give up her seat on the Montgomery bus in December 1955 was a deliberate action of a seasoned civil service activist who had been trained in non-violent resistance. And this was the catalyst for the Montgomery bus boycott, which lasted 381 days, leading to the Supreme Court ruling that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. And this exemplified the power of saying no and what is wrong when facing um, overwhelming opposition. That's one. The second role model
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say would be Eleanor
Yeah.
Roosevelt. Okay,
Oh, okay.
she she used her power, her position, and prestige to improve the lives of the disadvantaged. Okay, she dedicated
Mm-hmm.
her life for this cause, and her most treasured work was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And and one of her most famous quotes is, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." And this was
Mm-hmm.
exemplified her wisdom, sacrifice, and personal courage. My last role
Beautiful.
model, I would have to say, is Harriet Tubman. She she was a slave and she escaped slavery, and she
Mm-hmm.
returned 13 times to lead others to freedom through the Underground Railroad, okay, and never lost a
Yeah.
passenger. Okay, she was a scout, a spy, and a nurse for the Union Army during the Civil War, and she demonstrated how moral conviction combined with action can change history.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Wow. We would love to hear from our viewers. If you can put in the chat, who are the women that inspire you. For myself personally, I don't think that I can beat Margaret in terms of the history, but I'm going I'm going to use something that's a little bit closer to home for me. So for me, the role models when it comes to women, number one is my mom. So my mom was born in and raised in Poland during a communist times, and she was one of five. Grew up incredibly poor, and I love listening to her stories about how poor they were, and yet that they were always able to find something to eat. So one of the things that they ate was bread with a cream that came from the milk, the top of the milk, and they put sugar on it, and that was their special treat, and that's what they ate, and that story always melts my heart. And so
Mhm.
so then so having growing up so poor, she instilled in me this incredible resourcefulness. So we at home we always joke that I can make something out of nothing. I can, so you can just give me three random things and there's going to be dinner made out of it. And that definitely comes from her. The second person, and that's just a small example of how the impact that she had on my life. The second person that had a big impact on my life is Brené Brown. I found her work, I want to say probably 15 years ago, and uh, I fell in love with her because she spoke my language when it comes to data and research. And then she talked
Yeah.
about the soft stuff such as vulnerability and authenticity, and she opened a completely new world for me of how you can cross the realms of data and logic, emotions, and heart. So that
Oh,
she had a big her work had a big impact on my life. And then this morning when I was journaling about it, I had another aha moment. She and I didn't realize this until today, but she actually impacted also my writing. So I read all
oh,
her books, but in my mind for a really long time she was all first for me personally. And then I'm like, yeah, 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 I've
mm,
read her book. I'm like, oh, she is a writer. Oh, I am a writer. And I'm like, oh, so she had a big impact on my writing life. So that was my today's aha moment. I'm like, that is super super interesting. And
mm,
then the last woman that had a big impact on my life is Maria Montessori. And even though she's been dead for over 100 something years, her philosophy and her approach to education is very much still alive. And thanks to my
mm.
lovely son, I got I got to be part of the Montessori community, and I got to live and breathe her philosophy and her approach
Oh,
to education. And again, as I was writing about her today and how she impacted my life, I had another aha moment. And Margaret, maybe you will find this interesting. So when I looked at all the alternative education models, they were all
mhm.
actually started by men. So Waldorf
Hmm.
was founded by Steiner. Reggio Emilio was founded by Louise Malaggi. And then the unlearning school of thought was found by John Dewey. I'm like, oh, this is something new. I actually never thought about, or it just never registered that Maria Montessori is actually one of the uh, maybe the only one, but at the minimum, one of the very few women that started a movement in education that allows for alternative approach to education.
Mm.
So those are the three women for me.
Awesome.
But I do, and I love appreciate and admire your examples as well. Um, so let's talk now about as a woman, what would you tell yourself, and what advice would you give your younger self?
Wow. Hindsight is 2020, that's for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is that it's important to have a growth mindset over a fixed mindset because as we know, we need to change, we need to remain flexible and adaptable in this environment. And as we learn better, we do better.
Mhm.
Okay?
Absolutely. I'm into that. I'm all about growth mindset and stretch zones. I love living in a stretch zone. And I always joke that I'm one of these weird people that gets out of bed and says, okay, how can I be uncomfortable today? Just so I can grow. But that, that has a direct link to the growth mindset. And it's what else can I learn? How can I improve? I love the whole concept of improving myself 1% every day. And it's for me, it's so incredibly important. The other part that I it's so important to me is needing I have the need to learn something new every day, even if it's tiny, tiny thing. It just really, really makes me happy. And then when to connect it with the growth mindset, um, I am huge on experimenting. So I experiment with something exactly like literally every single day. Uh, and I have a whole pile of failed experiments, and that allowed me to actually become so much more comfortable with failure. Um, and so for me, I think the advice I would give to the younger self would be very comfortable with failing, because in my younger years I was very, very hard on myself, and I would beat myself up, and and spend a lot of time ruminating about like things I did wrong, or things that didn't go well. And rather than that, spending the time on saying like, okay, I tried, I failed. What did I learn? What can I do better? What can I apply from the situation to move forward, and just keep going. Um, if anyone in our audience has amazing advice to the younger self, please with us share with us. We would love to hear from you. Um, so, Margaret, you touched on the importance of mindset, um, and I'm curious, as we go through the different stages of our lives, where you are today, how would you say your mindset changed?
Well, growing up in a dysfunctional family,
Mhm.
it made me mentally tough, okay? And it showed me the importance of self-reliance and self-care, okay? Knowing I
Mm,
had no one else to rely on, no one else to have my back. So, going into it with that mindset, um, and all the things that I've experienced in my life, I know for a fact that I can get through any challenge that I encounter in the future, knowing that what I have experienced in the past, you know, can't be it can't be worse, and the things I'm going to experience in the future. Okay.
yeah. So, I'm hearing mindset of resilience, of toughness, and growth. And do you would you I will go back a little bit to the advice giving, or maybe not advice, maybe a tips. So what would be a tip for someone who is in their 20s, 30s now, um, around building the muscle of a resilient mindset?
It all starts with knowing who you are, knowing what you want, and your values. Okay.
Hmm.
That's very, very important, because without that, you're like a ship without a sail. Okay. And believing in yourself that you can do it, one step at a
Mm,
time, one thought at a
yeah.
time. And it's important to
Yeah.
have a a support system in place that's going to support you through those
Yeah.
challenging times. Okay, because self-doubt is going to creep in, but then you have to, hold on, as I talked about, to your faith and to your values, and know what's right, and continue to follow that path. You can't Things are going to continue to happen in the world, and there's nothing we can do about it. Focus on the things that are within your
Mhm.
control.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I, it's very much resonates with me. I think the part that resonates the most is building a village around yourself. So definitely knowing myself, but also having a supportive group I call it a tribe or a village, is absolutely crucial because, just like you mentioned, when and this is, from my experience, when I'm on my own, I have a tendency to spiral down. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to go after the worst case scenario, and then just keep going down, versus if there's a village, I can always reach out to someone. I'll be like, okay, what do you think about this? Or, what are your thoughts on that? Absolutely. So we the question for you is, how do we think bigger than ourselves? Oh, and still include ourselves. That's a question from one of our viewers.
How do we do what now? How do we stand for something bigger
How
than
to stand
ourselves?
for something bigger? Hmm.
Well, I'm gonna give you an example. When I decided to go to work for the Corps of Engineers, okay, I looked at the mission, I
Hmm.
looked at the vision, and what they were trying to
Yeah.
accomplish, and I wanted to be a part of that. Okay, because it
Hmm.
was something
Hmm.
bigger than myself. It was being able to be a part of building infrastructure, of going in and helping to rebuild these areas that have been tethered through with hurricanes and floods and tornadoes. And how did we do that? We accomplished that mission by putting our differences aside and working together for the benefit of the people that we were there to serve. And that is what I feel is being looking at the bigger picture and being a part of that and putting our personal self-interest aside for the betterment of the group, of the organization, of the world.
That's so beautiful, and it's so profound. And I know from talking to you that you're one of the, at least in my opinion, you're one of the very few people that um, is doing a work that very much aligns with your heart, and with what you believe and how much joy that brings you, and that actually feeds your bucket, or or feeds your soul, which is for most part, I would say it's very sadly it doesn't happen very often. I talk a lot to people that are like, oh, my work drains me, right? Like, I just, I have to force myself to get out of bed. And you were, one of the things that attracted me to you was that, your joy of actually going and doing something that feeds your soul. So that was amazing.
I
And
really
very,
appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
yeah,
very
yeah,
much.
very
Because oh, I'm sorry.
yep. No,
I,
go,
I
go ahead.
firmly, but I firmly believe that each and every one of us are here on earth for a reason. And once we figure out what that is, then we need to
Hmm.
make everything possible to make that happen because we're only here for a short period of time. And how we choose to use those skills and
Hmm.
talents that we are given is truly up to us.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. So, can you tell us a little bit more about you as a woman in the leadership position?
Okay.
And I know you are part of the Corps of Engineers, which is very unusual. So, tell us a little bit of your journey, and what does it feel like to be surrounded by a lot of engineers that are very data oriented and data driven?
It's really remarkable. When I finished my associate's degree, um, a friend of mine that I went to school with, he's like, "Hey, my sister-in-law worked for the Corps of Engineers. She works in program. She worked in program where the money, okay, where the money is." And so I like, okay. He said, give me your resume and I'll give it to her. And I'm like, okay, cool. I had an associate's degree in
Okay.
electronic technology. Okay. I didn't see where that was really going to get me
Mhm.
anywhere. But it got me in the door with the Corps because when she sent my resume over to people that she knew, I got a call for for an interview. And he said, okay, I did my studying. I looked up what the Corps of Engineers done. I put up together like 3 questions I wanted to ask them. I wanted to be
Mhm.
professional. Okay. So I went in there. I was
Yeah.
really in awe with what the Corps of Engineers do. So he's like, okay, if we offer you this job today, what do you say to that? I like, if you offer me this job, I'm going to make it a career, sir. And they offered me the job, and here I am, 38 years later. It's been such a exhilarating
Yeah.
experience. I cannot tell you. It changed my life, and uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
and um,
Mhm.
and here we are. Okay, I just followed the
Beautiful.
progression of my career, and here we are.
Mhm. 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 Being so again, being a woman in a leadership position, what would you say are the what are the challenges and what are the rewards?
Well, being a woman working in non-traditional fields such as construction, one thing, and then working
Hmm.
for a
Yeah.
military organization, okay? I'm obviously going to stand
Yeah.
out because
Yeah.
most of the times I go to a site, okay, construction site, I'm the only female, okay? I feel special, okay? I feel privileged, okay? And then second, I'm the only African American, so I feel 2 quotas for the government. Hey, so I'll take
Uh-huh.
it. I'll take it, okay? Whatever. So it's
Uh-huh.
a matter of building connections with people, okay?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
trust.
Hmm.
And once you build that
Trust.
trust
Okay.
with individuals, it's easier. But however, we have to work harder,
Hmm.
you know, and we're seen as the weaker sex, but in reality
Hmm.
we're not. Okay, because we have empathy, we are very high in emotional intelligence, we have the
Hmm.
mindset of working together with people, very engaging, um and women have can see things from different perspectives. Okay, and I know that a lot of the
Yeah.
men that I work with, like, what is she doing here? You know, I don't care. I'm here to make a living just like you. Get over it. Okay, because I'm not going nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
being a QA out in the field, telling the guys, you got to tear that down or you're not safe, doing my safety inspections. I did my job, whether they liked it or not. Get over it.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
whatever. If
Perfect.
I'm a minority hire, whatever, I'm gonna play it to the nth degree. When I get on that roof, I get the respect that I'm supposed to get. Period. Because I give
Hmm.
respect. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it has been amazing. I'm telling you. Um,
Wow.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. And it's such a, for me, it's such a beautiful example of a mentorship and leading by example. Because or like when I even when I think when I think about my middle schoolers, right? They seeing and hearing stories like yours, right? Where you come into a construction site and you are like, oh my god, I'm so blessed and I'm so special. When I what it's such a different and unique perspective, right? Because I do have middle school girls that are very much interested in woodworking and welding and this type of jobs, and then yet I can see thanks to the social media, right, how much they're struggling with having to fit into one mold, and then having examples and role models like you creates a completely different experience for them, right? Because now they can see someone like you, and you are up there on the roof,
That's
and
right.
and and at the same time being part of the team and creating trust, and being able to create a psychological safety within your organization and with whoever you are working with, and that is so priceless, right? And and again, it's such a beautiful celebration of being a woman, because there are absolutely no limits to what's possible. So I love and appreciate your stories very very much. Let's talk a little bit about the courage it took for you to build your own pathway, and the courage you display on daily basis, and what that looks like behind the scenes.
Well, we have to have, like those three women that I talked about, they had the courage to
Yeah.
say, no, enough is enough. This is what I'm going to
Hmm.
do to make that difference. Okay. We have to call out any
Hmm.
negative perceptions, shift perspectives, and continue to break barriers through visibility and representation, advocacy, mentorship, proving competency through results, okay? And cultural and policy changes. And that's what we have to do. Just like those women paved the way for us, the road that we're traveling now, we need to do the same thing for the
Hmm.
future generation, help them.
Yeah, absolutely. um I and um One of our viewers says that he sees to see women in the trades and roles like architecture and design, and that always expands perspective. Yeah, absolutely. And the ideas of looking out for people without questioning if it's a good thing or bad thing. And I think it goes back and speaks to what you were saying, that women in a non-traditional roles bring such an incredible amount of knowledge, experience, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and that is so much needed. And I think you know appreciated at the same time, I think. Hopefully more and more every day now. Although I have a tendency to be overly optimistic, so
That's good. It's okay.
um, I would love to hear a little bit more. It's okay, right? So tell us a little bit more about your venturing into the coaching space, and what coaching with you looks like, and how do I become your client, and what can you help me with, and how what is the special sauce, or the magic pixie dust that Margaret offers?
Wow. Okay. So this is the situation with my coaching career. I started coaching school in 2017. No, I got my ACC in 2017.
Mm,
I I
mhm.
coach part time on the side like a hobby. Okay, because I have
That's okay.
my full time
It's
job
perfect.
in in construction contract administration, which has nothing to do with coaching, but it does because I apply those principles daily in
Mm.
my job.
Daily, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So what I have done over the course of those years, I have accumulated over 500 coaching hours. And during that time, I was doing reciprocal
Yeah.
coach with other coaches, and some of those coaches happened to be therapists. So not only was I getting free coaching, I was getting free therapy. So that helped to bring me to where I am today. Okay. And I'm grateful for
Brilliant.
each of those coaches and all of the
Yeah.
things that I learned and we learned from each other. And so
Mm-hmm,
what I
mm-hmm.
started off as was a career coach, okay? And
Mm,
then
okay.
I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Then I went to life coaching. Then I went to leadership coaching and executive coaching. And so now I'm in the process of completing my certification, my systemic team coaching certification through coaching.com. I'll be completed with that program in May. And so I really got kind of burned out on
Yeah.
individual coaching. So what I'm
Mm-hmm,
looking at,
mm-hmm,
since I worked in teams my entire career, going from one to one to many. Okay. And that
mm-hmm.
gives
Yeah.
me a bigger impact
Yeah.
versus a smaller, okay?
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm,
that gives
mm-hmm,
me an ability to not only work with teams with coaching, also with organizations and bringing them to where
mm-hmm,
they need to be, okay? Because as we know, we have a lot of dysfunctional families that turn out to adults, and the adults become our supervisors, our colleagues, our friends, and so on
mm-hmm,
and so forth. So how can we help these organizations become more vital and much more lean and productive is by treating the individuals, okay, helping the individuals overcome their
mm-hmm.
phobias and fears and all the triggers and everything else that they experience through their childhood that they continue to carry around with them, including myself today.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then they become part
So
of the team. Perfect.
absolutely. Okay. So that's where we are now right now. I'm not really having any clients right now because with the full-time job, the school, and working on Substack and my business, I really don't have time to really coach anybody in particular. But
Don't
that's
say
going
it,
to change.
Margaret. Okay, we're going to cut this out. Yes, you are taking clients.
Okay.
People are
Yeah, I'm
knocking
taking
on your
clients.
door. Perfect.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking
See,
clients.
this is a perfect example of being coachable on the spot. It's a coachable on the live.
Okay, but I want to let everybody know, we take coaching clients, but coaching deals with the future, not the past. If you have issues with the past, I would recommend going to see a therapist, okay? And
Perfect.
and as we know, individuals come to coaching whole and they are resourceful, okay? And they have
Yes.
all the tools that they need. It's just the coach. We just walking along the journey with you. That's it.
Yep, that's it. I love it. Brilliant. Margaret, I'm standing for you that after this live you have a full lineup of clients and they are all whole,
Okay.
perfect and complete, and they're looking for team coaching. I absolutely love that. So
Okay.
to wrap wrap it up, the final thoughts on mentoring. Mentoring that is tailored for girls or boys. That's a good question. Would Margaret, do you have any tips, suggestions, or thoughts on mentoring? As younger girl, women, boys, young men. What have you seen that worked for you in your life?
I think it's definitely necessary, okay? Because as we know, when we are started to be molded, when we're in the womb, when we're conceived, we're being shaped and
Mhm,
molded. So they need to be shaped and molded in the correct way. So, because they're going to become the future leaders of this country, okay? So
mhm,
we need
yeah,
to start when they're young. Okay, there used to
mhm,
be the girls club, the boys club. It used to be the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts. There was something, all of that came into it. So what we need to do is start taking over these programs ourselves and nurturing these kids within our communities. Okay, we can't wait for somebody else. They're cutting all the funding and all these things. We need to. This is grassroots. We need to get in our communities. It's like, come on, people, how are we going to help and mentor our youth, because that's going to be our future leaders in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what works really, really well, at least in my experience, is the grassroots movement, and let's do it now. And if not overthink who, the who is us. It's now, and it's the grassroots. Yeah, absolutely. Um, the
Yeah, we have to stop waiting for handouts, and we have to go get ours ourselves. Okay, period.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the now, it's the us, and then and then just go and do it. And that's how we that's how we at least for our family, that's how we live our lives. But yes. The last question I have for you is, and I want to circle back to your magic and uh, your charisma as a leader. Because every time I got a chance to interact with you, um, what would you say allowed you to develop yourself as a leader, in terms of having, like, knowing yourself, having a very strong voice, being very charismatic, and stepping full and owning the leadership role, because you're one of the few people that I that like really owns being a leader. So I'm curious, what would you attribute this success to?
I would say partially my upbringing. Okay, my religious upbringing. I just have to
Okay.
say it. We can't run from
Sure.
who we are. We have to, we are a product of our environment. And what we need to do is
Hmm.
focus on those things. Okay, this is who I am. So embrace it. Okay, utilize
Hmm.
the part of it that makes sense to you, and does things in the positive aspect of it. That's the part that you work on. And what are your strengths? What are you good at? Okay,
Hmm.
what brings you joy? And you think about all of these things. Okay, I know myself because I take all these tests. Okay, I'm a Gemini.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm an introvert. I'm this, I'm that. Okay, I'm all of these things. Well, how can I apply all of these things to what I'm trying to do? Okay, and
Yeah.
that's what we have to look at. And the things that I'm not necessarily good at, okay, fine. Maybe I can bring those skills up, and then maybe those are
Hmm.
some things that maybe I can use to give to someone else, especially when you're working
Hmm.
on a team. You want to know
Yeah.
all your each and every individual team's strengths and weaknesses, and you want to play on that in order to get the mission completed. Okay, and
Absolutely.
so that's what I say. And
Yeah.
these things happen over time. They don't happen overnight. Okay, just small
You mean
iterative steps.
there's no
Okay.
pill I can take?
No,
No.
if it was, give it to
Okay.
me because I want it.
I was hoping
Okay.
for some I was hoping for some
No,
hacks, some pills, some spray. Yeah. Okay.
no, it's called trial
Um,
and error. It's called trial and error. You try some stuff, you throw it up against the wall. If it stick, you're like,
yeah.
okay, let me try it again.
Yeah.
Look at Edison. How many failures did he have before he created that light bulb? I don't know, but I'm sure it was quite a few. Okay.
Supposedly 10,000 tries, but yeah.
Okay. He was
Yeah.
having some frustrations, but he didn't give up. If he didn't give up,
Yeah.
if he had gave up, we probably wouldn't have had light when we did. You see?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I can, so since you mentioned strengths, so strengths is one of my life passions, and I that's how I run my teams. it's based strength based approach, but I also this is how I live my life, and that's how I mentor and coach. And it's in the area of strengths. And over time, and to your point, none of it happens overnight. It takes a lot
Okay.
of time, and there's no hacks, and there's no special pills. However, knowing our own strengths and building on them, it's such a different and rewarding way of living. And I um, I got hooked on strengths thanks to Chris Peterson. So he was my undergrad advisor, and he got me into positive psychology. But through him, I started using VIA strengths. And don't ask me what VIA stands for, but it's VIA.org, because I can never remember. uh, but knowing my own strengths and then building on them made all the difference in my own leadership. So one of my strengths is love of learning, and I never stop learning.
Love
And
it. Love it.
yeah, the interesting the interesting thing is, there's the underuse and overuse of strengths. So with
Hmm.
time, I am able to recognize when I overuse my love of learning. And the way I know is
Hmm.
when I spend 3 hours on something to learn, go really deep, and I'm like, okay, enough. You have learned enough. Now you can go and teach it, because when you teach it, this is how it becomes your own.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
when you were talking
mhm,
about strengths, that just reminded me of, like, yes, strengths are amazing, and we can use them. We can use them to our advantage. However, it's also important to knowing when we overuse them and when we underuse them. Uh, so uh, that's just a quick plug-in for strengths.
Awesome, and now
uh,
that since you talked about the VIA, character strengths, my top
yeah.
strength was gratitude, and that is
Oh,
true.
perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's such a beautiful strength, and it's a strength, and it is so important. Uh, and it really helps with clarity, mindfulness, resilience. Like, and they are always, everything is all
Yes, yes,
connected. But starting your day in the state of grateful, it's priceless. So absolutely. And maybe
absolutely.
Margaret, maybe uh, I found your magic sauce. It's called gratitude.
All right.
Perfect.
Amen.
This is
Amen
going
to
to be
that.
this is perfect. So there you go. This is Margaret's magic sauce. It's gratitude.
Yes, thank you so much. I just want to say
Perfect.
I was just struck by the fact that you and I have this commonality of Michigan. Go blue, okay? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you got
God
to be
bless.
good. You got to be a good person if you're from Michigan, okay?
Oh, that is so funny. Perfect. Well, it's been such a pleasure. I so deeply appreciate, and I'm so grateful that you decided to spend an hour with me today. Is
Thank you.
any parting words of advice, tips, anything that you want to share with our viewers that would make their International Women's Day that 10 times more special?
Stay encouraged, okay? Stay encouraged and be kind to one another.
Oh, I love it. um, Thank you so much, Margaret. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for everyone that
Thank
joined
you.
us today. Happy
Thank you.
International Women's Day. Stay encouraged,
Thank you.
stay in gratitude, and know your strengths.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks.
Margaret. Take care.
Thank you. All right.